April 2003. Aaron Ralston, a 27-year-old hiker, walks into a slot canyon in Utah, alone. Walking a 15-mile route while climbing down through the rock, an 800-pound boulder breaks loose. It crushes his right hand against the canyon wall. 1 second, he's hiking. Next, his arm is pinned under a rock as heavy as 15 standard Olympic lifting plates stacked on each other. He pulls, twists, nothing moves. Nobody knows where he is. No search party is coming. He's trapped for 127 hours, over 5 days. He rations his supplies. Then he starts drinking his own urine when they ran out. He amputates the crushed arm, awake, no anesthesia, using a cheap multi-tool pocket knife. The amputation wasn't the end. It was the beginning of the next ordeal. With one arm, he still has to climb out of the canyon, rappel down a 65-foot drop, and hike 7 miles through open desert, severely dehydrated and bleeding. He eventually gets help, roughly 7 miles from the spot where he almost died. Statistically, that's almost nothing like what happens to most people who get lost. Most lost hikers, found alive or dead, aren't found 7 miles from anywhere. They're found within sight of help, a road, a trailhead, a ranger station, close enough to see it, but somehow never close enough to reach it. Aaron Ralston had to cut off his own arm to cover a distance most lost hikers never attempt. So why do most people who get lost only wander a few hundred feet, looping again and again without ever reaching a road they can practically see? The answer is a glitch in your brain that scientists still don't fully understand. And once you see how it works, you'll start noticing the exact same glitch, built deliberately into places you walk through every single week. For decades, people believed something simple about why hikers walk in circles in a wilderness area. One theory is that your right leg is a little stronger than your left, so every step pulls you slightly off course, and over time, that small pull becomes a big circle. A clean theory, easy to picture, and terribly wrong. In 2009, scientists at the Max Planck Institute tested it directly. They blindfolded volunteers and tracked them with GPS. One group walked through the Sahara Desert in daylight. Another walked through a thick German forest at night. If the strong leg theory were true, everyone should circle the same direction every time. That's not what happened. In the test, scientists noticed the same person would walk clockwise for a while, then drift the other way minutes later. No pattern or favorite direction. The problem wasn't anyone's legs, but rather it's how your brain checks its own direction. You see, without something to look at, the sun, a mountain, or a flat horizon, your brain has nothing to compare itself to. If you close your eyes and try walking in a straight line, after 10 steps, you're a little off. After 100, you're a lot more off. Keep going, and that tiny mistake becomes a circle you never meant to walk. Scientists call this sensory noise, small mistakes piling up with nothing around to correct them. It's the reason search and rescue teams give advice that sounds backwards. They tell you that if you're lost, you should stop walking, because every extra step just adds to a circle you can't even see yourself drawing. Interestingly, scientists found that the moment you box this glitch in, something strange happens to it. Look at running tracks, urban parks, large rooms with pillars down the middle. In every one of these places, 80 to 90 out of 100 people move in the exact same direction, counterclockwise. Almost everyone. Here's why. Most people are right-handed, and the right side of the brain handles noticing what's around you in space. That side naturally scans left to right first, the same way your eyes move across a page of text. So your body follows that path and curls left to do it. Pay attention at a track meet or Costco. You'll notice which way people turn without thinking about it. The same broken sense of direction that wanders with no pattern in an open desert becomes almost perfectly predictable the moment somebody builds a room around it. Nobody planned it on purpose, but somebody eventually noticed the pattern. And once you can predict which way a crowd will turn, you can decide exactly what they walk past on the way. This is where the story stops being about psychology and starts being about money. Because anything that predictable at scale can be designed for, sold to, and profited from. Welcome to the maze built specifically for you. A maze designed to wear you out. A maze designed to wring you of every dollar it can. Ultimately, it's built for you, but a second customer is walking through this same maze. A customer who pays a lot more than you ever will, and will meet them next. This sinister maze is a familiar one. You've walked its floors 100 times before. You just never noticed it was one. Most stores have 2 sets of doors, but only one leads to the carts, and it's almost always on the right. Not a coincidence, as the same glitch that makes lost hikers drift counterclockwise pulls you in from the right. You run the maze counterclockwise and it spits you out at the exit on the left, meaning you complete a full circle in the maze before you leave. Walking in from the right, a worker hands you a cart that's roughly twice as large as you need. The empty space is uncomfortable. Your brain reads it as a problem you haven't solved yet. You'll spend the next 40 minutes fixing that feeling. Right past the entrance, the ceiling climbs and the pace drops. Designers call it the decompression zone. Its only job is to make you forget you had a list. You walked in thinking milk, eggs, bread, done. You're not thinking that anymore. Your attention starts to scatter. Your eyes scan naturally, left to right. And without realizing it, your body turns left in that counterclockwise path and follows where your eyes are already going. You're now fully in the maze, and you haven't touched a shelf yet. That left turn deposits you directly into produce. Bright colors, misted vegetables, the smell of something fresh. You pick up some farm fresh. It feels responsible, maybe even virtuous, and that feeling quietly hands you a license to make worse choices for the rest of the trip. Scientists call it the licensing effect. Going to the gym earns you pizza later. The kale salad at dinner earns you an ice cream sundae for dessert. So every organic tossed into the cart earns you permission to grab the Kit Kat later. The maze just handed you that permission at the very first turn. As you go deeper, it gets more sinister. Every aisle is a wall. They run perpendicular to the outer loop. So to move forward, you must always exit the end you entered. Every path returns you to the loop. And on that loop, the outer wall shelves land exactly where your right hand and eye are already pointed. Retailers call the height between 4 and 5 feet the bullseye zone. That's where you'll find Honey Nut Cheerios and Lucky Charms, because those companies paid to be exactly where your hand was already going. That shelf space isn't earned, it's rented. Food companies pay stores slotting fees for premium placement. Getting one product into stores nationwide can cost well over $1 million just for permission to be seen. At some grocery chains, more than 60% of profit comes not from selling food, but from charging other companies for access to you. The shelf in front of you was sold before you ever walked in. If a smaller brand couldn't afford the fee, their product doesn't exist to you. Not because it's worse, because it never had the budget to be in your eye line. Remember the second customer I mentioned, the one who pays more than you do? That's them. They paid for the shelf. They paid for access to you. You're the guest of honor and the milking cow at the same time. By now, you're deep in, and the milk and eggs are still at the back. They're always at the back, not because of refrigeration logistics, but because the only way to reach them is to walk the entire maze first, making unplanned decisions the whole way. That is not an oversight. It is the whole point, a specially designed walk of shame. With your wallet, you find the milk. You find the eggs. You head for the checkout line, which sits on the far side of where you found them, meaning you walk a stretch of the maze again. This is the last room, designed for exactly this moment, when your willpower is at its lowest point of the trip. So the maze makes its final offer: Reese's, Skittles, Trident, Orbit, a tabloid promising the real story behind a celebrity breakup you didn't know happened between two people you've never heard of. Your senses are dull. You reach for something, and if somehow you manage to resist, the maze has one more trick. You cannot escape the vague feeling of shame for walking through it without buying anything. Some of the people in line around you, glassy-eyed from their own laps around the loop, will shoot you a look that enforces that shame. You're only free to go after it has drained you of energy and dollars. The doors open after you've paid, not before. That dizzy, lost your list, where did my money go feeling at the receipt printer has a name: the Gruen transfer. Named after Victor Gruen, the architect whose blueprint became the foundation for all of this. He spent his later years disowning what he built. In 1978, he told an audience he refused to pay alimony to, in his own words, those bastard developments. He set out to build something that brought people together. What got built instead was a machine for extracting money twice. Once from the companies that paid to be on the walls, and once from you, walking past them on the way to milk and eggs. The exit was always there. It only opens after the maze is done with you. You'll be back next week. You don't have a choice. So here's the actual difference between the two mazes. The one in the open desert, though harsh, has an exit. Stop walking, find a fixed point, wait for help. Help will likely come. The maze you walk through every week has a different type of exit. You can't just stop moving through a grocery store. You need the milk, you need the eggs, and the only way to get them is to walk the exact path someone else designed for you to walk. Nature gave you a glitch, and also gave you a way around it. Big Corp found the same glitch, charged companies a fee for the right to exploit it, and quietly removed your escape route. The most sinister maze ever created isn't hidden in some forgotten canyon behind a missing trail marker. It has no 800-pound boulder, but it has fluorescent lighting, offers a loyalty card, and you're going to walk through it again this week without ever noticing you're walking in a circle, just like a hiker lost in the wilderness.